Hello. So in this screencast, we're gonna continue on in class 1 and solve the last 5 questions. In part 1, we solved the first 5 questions, and in part 2, we're gonna solve question 6 all the way to question 10. All right. So let's have a look. Question 10 says, write a method that accepts an array list of users and sorts the users by their age in ascending order, and prints the username and age sorted by age in ascending order. Okay, good. So basically we're printing the names and the age of the user in ascending order. Okay, good. So in ascending order by age. So let's copy this one, and I'm gonna paste it here. So print age sorted. So basically it's very simple. Basically, if you look at collections.sort, basically you only have 2 sort methods. Either the list is sortable, so basically the list is comparable, the components of the list or the objects of the list are comparable, or you provide your own comparator. All right, so basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the second one, because if you look at the user object, it doesn't implement comparable, right? It doesn't implement comparable. So basically I'm just going to use collections.sort, and you see it's not happy, it wants to import the class. So I'm going to use options enter, and import the class. Okay, so now sort, and then I'm going to sort what? I'm going to sort users. So basically I'm going to get users here. You see here I'm getting a list of users, right? So here it is, users, comma, new comparator. You see here. And basically if you look at the comparator class, so we can go back to here and comparator Java, right? And docs, right? So here it is, and you can see that if you click here is a comparator, right? It's a comparison function, and basically if you look at it, has one function inside it, and that comparator class has compare, right? So basically if you look at the compare function, so where's the compare function here? Okay, so basically the compare function, as indicated, compares 2 arguments, right? For order, returns negative or integer, 0 or positive as the first if it's less than. So negative if the first argument is less than the second argument, or 0 if they are equal, or if it's greater than, it returns a positive number. So basically you have to return a positive integer, right? Okay, cool. So now we have that. So basically what's going to happen here is that you have to tell the sorter how to compare the 2 users. So you have user 1 and then you have user 2. So you have 2 users, right? So these 2 users are going to come in from the list, right? And it's going to use the comparator to sort. So basically you want to sort them by what? We want to sort them by age. So basically we're going to return user 1 dot age get age minus user 2 dot get age. And basically what we're doing is that if user 1 is older than user 2, so basically if user 1 is older than user 2, then the return value is going to be greater than 0, right? If user 1 is younger than user 2, then the return value is less than 0. And if they are of the same age, then the return value is 0. So basically here you are telling it how to sort, right? Okay, so basically that's it. So this basically sorts the users, right? And basically after you sort the users, you're saying write a method that accepts a list of users and sorts them by age, and prints the usernames and age sorted by age in ascending order. Good. So basically we already sorted them by age, and I can do a for each user, and I would like to on users, and you could see this is also an in-place sort. So it sorts them inside the same array, so basically it doesn't create a new array, it's inside the same array. So basically now if I go here and you do s out, and I'm gonna print the user.getName, okay, plus, and then I get their age, or maybe I print the age and then name so that it looks a little bit better. So basically I'll just get the age, and then I'm going to add the name to it, get name, user.getName, get first name, just the first name. So basically that's what I'm doing here. So basically I'm going to just put a little bit of a space, and now I'm going to print them. So basically now they are sorted by the age here, and then I'm just printing the age of the user and then the name of the user. So now if we go up here and we call the method, so basically I'm not going to do this one anymore, but I'm going to do main.sort by age users, right? And we run it, and and you could see now they are sorted in ascending order by age. It starts with 20 and it's printing the names of people, and it keeps going all the way to 100. Now if I want to sort them in, so this is in what? This is in ascending order. So yeah, this is in ascending order, right? So it starts with the low values and then it goes all the way up, right? If you want to sort it in descending order, so you tell the sorter, you just tell it to multiply the result here by -1. Okay, you just multiply it by -1, so you are switching the order. When you run it, and you can see now it's printing it's in descending order now. Okay, it starts with the oldest and then goes all the way down. All right, so basically we are able to do the sorting, and that's straightforward. Okay, cool. So that's how we do the sorting. So now we're done with question 6. Question 7: write a method that accepts an array list of user objects. The method should print the top 10 oldest users. Perfect. So I can print the names or the ages of the top 10 oldest users. So what I could do is I could to get the top oldest users, what I could do is basically sort them by age, and then after I sort them by age, I just pick the first 10, right, or the top 10, and go from there, right? So basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy the code that we had here. Here we are, Control C, and or maybe we do this one. Here we are, question 7. Print the oldest 10 users. Okay, good. So now I'm going to print the oldest 10 users. This is the collection.sort again. Here is the collection.sort, right? And maybe I need to sort them in descending or in descending order. So here is -1 times this, right? And then I'll just copy this, which is the top. What do you call this? Just prints all the users. So let me call this just to test. Okay, so now I'm going to comment out this one. Print the oldest 10. All right, I'm going to print the oldest 10. Basically I'm not printing any oldest 10 here, right? So let's run this again. This just prints the users in descending order, right? And now what I would like to do is I would like only to print the first 10. So basically the problem is that I'm not sure what's the size of the list, right? So I want to know how far to go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do for I, right? It's a little bit different. From I equal to 0 to I less than. Now, I is less than what? I would like it's either the minimum, so math dot minimum, right? The minimum of what? Of the size of the list, right? So 10 and the size of the list. 10 and users dot length or get size, right? So basically, I would like it to loop all the way, either the minimum of 10 or the size of the list, right? Because what if the size of the list is like 5 and I want to print the oldest 10? I don't have an oldest 10 here, right? Okay, so we'll copy now. Now we want to get the user. So basically I don't have an iterator here, so I'll do user equal users.get at I, right? That's the user, and then basically I'm going to just print the user name and age like this. And I'm not going to use this for. And here we are printing. If we run this, and you can see that you are printing everybody here. So basically let's have a look. So are we doing the right one? Oh shoot, I messed it up. It's not this one. It's not print sorted by age. So basically we copy this one here, and I'm gonna cut this from here. The code has to go here. That's where the code should go, which is print the oldest 10 users, right? So the oldest 10 users, here's the for loop for I equal to 0 all the way to either 10 or the size of the list, the minimum, right? So I'll run this again. Here it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then another 5. This is the oldest 10 users. Okay. Here it is. We have the oldest 10 users. This is question number 7. Okay. Question number 8. Write a method that accepts an array list of users. The method should count the number of users living in each state, then print the state and the count for each accumulated counts. Okay, good. So basically, in order to do this, if we looked at the other videos that we posted, here we basically would like to tally, right? So basically the tally will look like this. We need basically you will have the state, right, and then basically the count of people in the state, right? So for example, we will have, say for example, we will have North Carolina. Let's say we have 100 people there, right? So and then you will have say New York, and then we'll have say 53 people there. So basically, in order to have this kind of structure, we need to build a hash map, a map where the key is the state and the value is the count, right? So basically, in order to do that, I'll do a hash map. The key is the string, which is going to be the state, and the value is going to be the count, right? And this is called for example, we'll call it, for example, the counts, or equal to new hash map, and so on. So I have my hash map, right? I have these users, so I'm going to loop over these users for each, right? User in users, right? Okay, cool. Here it is. So I have the for each loop set up. Now all what I have to do now is to manage this count. So basically, first thing I have to do is to check if the state is in the map, right? If it's in the map or no, right? So how do I do that? I'll say counts. So if counts contains key, which is the key. The key is the state, right? So it contains key. What's the key? It's user.getState, right? So here it is. So now I can check to see if it contains the key. Else it doesn't contain the key, because when you start off, you might not have seen anybody from that specific state, right? So if it contains the key, all what I have to do is I just have to increment the value that is in the system. Like if it's North Carolina, I'll just make it +1. It's going to be 101. So now what I need to do is I need to put in the map a new value, which is the current value in the map. So anyhow, so let's see. So the current counts, I'll say an integer. We'll call it current count. Okay, equals counts dot get at user dot get state. So basically, for that state, get me the current count. This is the current count for that state. And then I'll do counts dot put, and this is user dot get state. What I want to put is current count +1, right? That's what I'm going to do. So basically, I'm reinserting in the map at the same key the current value but +1. All right. So now that's this case, and then in this case, this doesn't exist in the map. I'll just say counts.put user.getState, and then I'm just going to put 1. This is the first time you saw that state. The first time, and let's say, for example, let's say Illinois, and we add 1. This is what we are doing. You know, where Illinois didn't exist to start with, and we're adding it here. And you could see that's straightforward. We did that here. So let me cut this comment and put it in front of the if here. And that's what we're doing. So basically, once we do this, after we are done, we can do an S out here just to show the map, okay, counts. And let's show you what the map looks like. Now, what I also would like to show you is that I'll put a breakpoint here, right? So when I put this breakpoint, when I run my code, see what is going to happen. Oh, it didn't stop. Good. So basically, in order for it to stop in debug mode, right? So we never called that method. So let's just make sure that I minimize all of these. I don't need all of this. And this one also I'm going to remove. I'm going to use main dot user state stats and user. Okay. So now when I run it, it did run, no problems, right? So now I would like to, if you wanted to stop, so see, I put a breakpoint here. If you wanted to break at that breakpoint, you know, when the code tries to execute this line, before it executes this line, you press the debug button, not the play button, right? So click the debug button, and you could see that it debugged. It did go through the loop. This means that the map is already set up, all the counts are in place, and then you are here. So now if you click here, you could see the counts. You see here, it shows you the key and the value. You see here, it shows you here the key and the value for each component. So you can see here, Texas has 106 entries and so on, right? Illinois, Indiana, and so on, right? So you could see the North Carolina, here is 23, and so on. So you could see them, right? Now, so let's run the code. So I'm not going to press the debug. Stop and run the code. There it is. And you could see that this is my map, right? So now I want to print the contents of the map, which is straightforward also. To print the contents of the map, we will have to loop over the keys. So for each string key, in what? In counts.get key set. Get the key set. And then all I'm going to do is S out key, and I am going to add to it the count. So I want to show the count for it. So basically you will do here counts.get add key. So here it is. So basically I'm going to print the key and then in front of it the value. Okay, so now we run this. Oh, let's remove this one from here. Maybe we remove this one a little bit. So now we run. Here it is. And we satisfied the requirement. There is the key and the value, and you can see that we are printing in front of each one of them the value. All right, cool. So we are done with this one, right? So question number 8, the method should count the number of users living in each state, print the state and the count for each accumulated counts. Good. So we did that already. All right. Okay, so that's question number 8. Now question number 9. Okay, so here it is. Now we are talking about question number 9. Now we go all the way up, and I'm going to comment out this one. And this question is going to receive 2 lists, 2 string lists, and it returns a set. Good. So now get word overlap. That's what's going to happen here. So basically, write a method that accepts 2 arrays of words, right? 2 word arrays, list A and list B. The method should return the set of words or strings that overlap, that exist in both lists, meaning an intersection. So basically, they want you to use sets. Okay, good. You can use data words 1 and data words 2. Good. So basically, that's what we're doing here, and we're going to return the set of overlap. So let's create a set, a hash set. Let's see, hash set of string, and this is called the overlap, right? Equal new hash set. So that's basically the hash set. Now you're going to receive 2 strings, the first string and the second string. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the first string, right, the first list, right, and I'm going to add it in a map, in a set. The sets are very good at answering the question, does the set contain that value? All right, and sets also guarantee uniqueness. So now, in order for me to do that, I am going to add one of these lists into a set and then loop over the other list to manage that. So basically, how do I do this? So basically, in sets, we can do it through the constructor of the set, but I will just loop. So basically, I'll do a for loop for each string. Let's say, for example, word in list A, right? Word in list A, right? We'll start with list A. Here's list A, and basically we'll say, for example, we'll create a hash set of string, and this is list A set, for example, or set A. We'll call it set A equal new hash set. So that's set A. There it is. And basically we'll say set A dot put or dot add the word. So basically I'm just adding these words into here, right? We're adding all these words in here. So basically I'm just adding the words in list A into a set. You can also do that straightforward by doing a new hash set, and you could see hash set and hash set. You could see that in the new hash set you can also pass it some kind of a collection that it will populate it with whatever contents of the collection. I don't need this loop. I could do it like this here. I could do this, and I could pass it list A, and it's not going to complain. But it is asking for a list of list A. It's asking you to cast, which basically I think the easiest way is just to go and loop. So basically I looped. I added the word items that are in list A into the set A. Now what I will do is I will do loop over the other array, string word, and this is going to be list B, right? I'm looping over list B, and basically all I'm going to do now is to ask if that word, if set A contains the word, right? This means it's an overlap, right? So basically, if it's an overlap, I'm going to add it to the overlap. Overlap dot add the word. Make sense? So basically, I'm just using a set here, and basically we're going to return the overlap. At the end of the day, we're going to just return the overlap. All right. So basically, just to recap what we're doing here, we take the first list. We add it all into a set. Each word we add it into the set. Why we add it into the set? So that we can ask this question, contains. And then it is much more efficient to use that. And then we loop over the other list, and for each word in that other list, we check to see if the set contains that word. If it contains it, this means it's an overlap, and we return it. So basically, if we go back here and we look at, let's say, we call this method, and that method is main dot word overlap data dot word list 1 data dot word list 2, and basically this returns a set. So basically a hash set of string, and this is the overlap equals this, right? I think that's what's happening here. It returns a set. Okay, good. So that's just a set. Here it is. And basically we can do s out and overlap, right? So now if we run this, here are the words that are combined between them. All right, so college, thanks, art, performance, and imagination. So if you look at the data, these are the words. Let's say I take bathroom from here and I add it here, right? And I run this code again, I will have bathroom also as part of the, you see here, bathroom now got added. All right, so basically you could see that you have these two word lists and you're able to find out the overlap. Okay, cool. All right, so we're done with this one. We were done with this question. Now, the other question is, instead of a list of words, you have a list of users, two lists of users, and you want to find the overlap. And two users are equal if all their attributes are equal. Okay, perfect. So two users are equal if all their attributes are equal. Okay, good. So now how do we do that? So you see right now we were able to use sets and ask the question of contains, because contains try to see if they are equal with string lists, right? Because strings are able to compare among each other, and strings already have the equals method, which checks to see if the two strings are equal, right? But then how do I do it for users? So let's do this. So this is the last question here. And here we are, question number 10. You have two used list of users, and you want to find out if this two used list of users are you want to find the overlap, right? Okay. So now in order to do that, the user class has to implement equals. Okay. So now in order to do this, I'm going to go here in the user class, and I'll do here, and I'm going to do equals and hash code. Okay. And I click on next, and then it asks me what makes two users equal. So I'll pick all the fields, because two users are equal if all the fields are equal. Click on next, and click on next, and select all non-null fields. I'll pick select all the non-null fields. I can select any of them if I'm sure they are non-null, right? So here it is, and create. So basically you could see here now that it created two methods, equals and hash code, right? And you see it's checking to see if age is equal to age, and if the name is equal to the name, and so on. So basically it does take care of the case of equals. It created equal method for you, and it created the hash code method for you, right? And these two methods are required in order to use sets with a class, right? So now what we're going to do is exactly what we did here, but instead of it being strings, it's going to be users. We're trying to find overlap between users. So hash set of user, and that's going to be called the overlap equal new hash set. So that's the overlap, right? And then another hash set of user, and this is going to be the first set. So we're going to call it set A equal new hash set. So that's set A, right? So that's the same story that we did with that one. So basically for each user in users A, what we want to do is we'll say set A dot add user. So basically that's exactly what we did before, right? But with now users, and we'll do the same exact thing for set B. So for each user in user B, and we're going to do this if set A contains the user, right? Then overlap dot add user. And we're able to do that because now we're able to do contains, and contains will use equals, and we're able to tell it exactly what equals, and then return overlap. All right. Now it's not happy for some reason, and it wants a list of users. So basically we'll say new array list, and we can pass it the overlap. So basically, you can pass it the overlap. You can create a new array list, and you can pre-populate it with whatever the hash set of overlap is in, right? We can do that like this. Okay, so now we can return a list of users. Now, if we close this now and we try to run this, let's see. Is out, main dot get overlap of users, and the first one is the list of users, which is user A. So basically, let's say we copy this from here and put it here and here. So this is users A, and then this is going to be users B. Now data.users, and then I think there is another one called .other users. So basically, I have now users A and users B. So here's users A, comma users B. Okay, so basically we run this and see what happens. Here they are. These are the users that overlap. Okay, you can see here that it returns a list of users that overlap, and we go from there. So basically, you could see that these are the users that overlap. Let's say we copy this one, and I go back to the data. Control F, Control V. You could see here there is Pretty Savage, and then we run it again, and you could see Pretty Savage also exists in the other list. Yeah, so it is the case. You can test and see see if this works or no. But that's what we did here. And just to recap a little bit, in order to be able to use sets on objects, right? Not primitive objects like a string or integer. No, it's just your classes that you created, right? You need to implement equals and hash code. And I just showed you very straightforward what I did. I just used the generate function. So you go here, code, generate, and you pick what you want to do. I want equals and hash code. And it tells you, it guides you, the wizard guides you of what you should do to complete this. Please let us know if you have any questions. Thank you.